So, hello folks, this is the first video of my new playlist which I've created for you guys. So, in this tutorial, I'll be teaching HTML, CSS, and JavaScript from scratch. So, the main target is to learn React, but before learning React, you need to understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I mean, the core concepts of these three. Before, you cannot directly jump into React before learning these three stacks. So the next question is like who can take this tutorial? So guys, like this, I'll be covering everything from scratch. And this is not like 12 to 15 hours long course. So you can definitely go through it. I've picked the main parts and obviously the very important parts of all the stuff. And through this course, my target is to make you smart enough in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So guys, enough of talk. Now let's start. So here I've created a diagram for you guys. Before jumping into any stack like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you would have already seen in the title, like the title of this video is basically how the web works, right? So I think it is very important to make you guys understand for how the web works. I don't know if you guys are already aware of it, but though I would like to say this. If you want to take a screenshot, please do that because this is very important. So let's start. So I'll tell you guys how the web is working under the hood. Okay. So I'll give my example. For example, I'm the user and I need github.com. Now, before going into all the stuff, let's dig this part a bit. It's https colon slash slash github.com. So now what is the first part and what is the second part? So the first part is basically hypertext transfer protocol secure. This is basically for securing our domain. This is what is being used. Clear with it? Yeah. I think yes. Okay. So the next thing, let's go back. So the user is making a request, like he wants a github.com into his computer. So the client get this client as a computer, right? So I, through my computer, wants github.com. So what is the expected result? The expected result is I want to see github.com open in my browser. So this is a web app which contains just this is a very core part. I don't know whether you'll be able to understand or not, but this is a bundle actually. Uh, I think we should. Okay, I'll come back after a second here. Let's first go to the flow. So the client will make a request. Like the client will, we are requesting from the client that give me github.com. Now, what this client will basically do is it will go to your local server. Now, what is a local server? The local server is basically the server which you are using to make the request, which is basically the Wi-Fi or whatever server which you are using in your internet. Now, what this will do is if it has the IP address of this specific domain, it will return from its cache. And if the IP address is not found in its caching system, in in the local server, it will go to the DNS server, right? Now, what is this DNS server? This can be understood. This can be taken as a dictionary where every how can I say every domain is being mapped to the specific IP address. Now, think it of think this is an IPv4 which was used in early 90s. Now we are using the modern now the modern IPv6 is being used, which is a bit complex. Now you would be thinking that like why are this is making a request to DNS server? Why can't we directly enter this big IPv6 address directly into the browser? Obviously, you can do that, and it will open the web app for you. But since this is too big, we cannot memorize this long value and directly put into the web tab every time. That is why a domain was being used, and the DNS server will simply return. DNS server will say that hey, like okay, I have the IP address of this specific domain, which is github.com, and it will return you this specific IP address, this one in bold. Right now, we are back to the client. We are back to this part. This client has make a request to the through the local server to get the IP address. Now the client again we are here to the client. I didn't do the drawing here because it would look more complex. So think of it as this way that we are like our computer as the client now has IP address available. Now, since it already has the IP address, this IP address, it will make a request to its server. This IP address will make a request to the server. like, hey, like, this is my IP address and give me all the stuff which I need. The browser is asking, like the client is asking for that. So what the server will do is it will see the this IP address and it will simply return a response which is nothing but a bundle of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Now this bundle is an executable file which is easily executable in any standard browser like Firefox, Chrome, or Brave browser, anything like Safari or anything. So I don't know whether you know a request or response. We'll cover later in this video. But a request is simply like how can we take it? For example, if we go to HTTP, okay, github.com, or not here actually. Let's go into a private tab and let's open github.com. Let's open the network tab side by side. Yes. Okay, so this will make a request and this has got its templates. Basically, I is somewhere in this. Okay, I cannot see here. It's up in Firefox. It's not clear there. So I'll go to github.com. We'll open inspect tools. We'll go to network. So this is basically the developers tools which I've opened. I don't know like if you are aware of it, but I'll tell you again. So right click on the browser, go to inspect, go to the network tab, and then we will see. I just want to show you something. So see, a lot of network requests are being made. So these are basically the request. For example, this has made the IP address which I have already shown you has made a request to the server. Right, this github.com, and this will return basically. This will be returned with a for example, we can check it in the response tab. This is basically an executable file as I was talking earlier. So this is an executable bundle which has HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So this in return is returning a static file. Right. So this is a request and this is a response. Response contains like objects with a lot of values, which is being executed by the browser in this case. So I guess at least you guys have a basic level of overview. I'm not like hoping that you'll understand everything at one shot, but yeah, like I guess you have a basic understanding of how the request and response cycle works in the browser. Also, the main target of this video was to let you guys understand that how this web works. So take a deeper look at this, and I think it should be clear enough for how the web works. The next thing here is okay. Yeah. So the next thing here is now after this we'll directly jump into the HTML videos. So this was the first video I thought of like introducing a web to you. And after this I'll start HTML and then CSS and then JavaScript. In this video I would also like to give you an overview of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So what are these guys? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. What is the role of this in web browser and any other stuff? I hope you guys are already aware of it. Then also I would like to say, so the first thing is HTML. So let's take an example of a car. So for example, when we see a car, what do we see first? Like we see like the outer body of the car, like the mirror, the like the outer body, and then the wheels and everything. So consider those parts as the HTML of the car. What is CSS? We see different styles on car because, for example, the like Mercedes is in white color, the Audi is in black. So that color and other decorations can be taken into the CSS. And what is JavaScript? JavaScript is the main part, guys. JavaScript is basically the engine of the car. Take it as an engine of the car. Now let's end the example of car. Let's come back to our web app. So the HTML will create simple elements, for example, div, paragraph, anchor tag, image, and all this stuff. CSS will basically style those elements. And JavaScript, what is the need of JavaScript? We use JavaScript for event bundling and all those related stuff. For example, what happens when a button is clicked? What happens when a drop down is clicked? In short, whatever dynamic content you can see on a web browser is being binded with JavaScript. We will definitely go deeper into this tax. So this was just an introduction video to let you guys understand all this stuff. And then, yeah, this is it for this video, guys. This is it for this video. And I'll see you in the next video. Up until then, happy coding.